Edmonton Oilers game day taking on the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Look for McDavid to center, Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Perry. Henrique with Janmark and Brown. And then you got Jeff Skinner and Derek Ryan. 11 forwards once again as Victor Arvidsson remains out. So we will probably see numerous line combinations like we did Saturday night in Toronto. Darnell Nurse, after being drilled by Ryan Reeves on Saturday, out 5 to 10 days, according to head coach Chris Knobloch. So with 4 games this week and then not a game after that until next Friday, I think probably safe to say he's going to miss 4 games, but we'll see. So Ek with Bush, Kulak with Emerson, Dermott Stetcher, and Josh Brown up from the minors to make his Oilers debut tonight against the Habs. Calvin Pickard in net. Stuart Skinner will serve as the backup. Plenty more on the Oilers as we roll through a 90-minute initial edition of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. From 4:30 to 5:30, we're going to hand it over to Tom and Hernan for the Oil Stream pregame show, and then we'll be back for a half hour between 5:30 and 6. You can get in touch on the EST inbox, 780-218-9999. You can jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, and you can email the show, reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. Jed Roberts will join us in a little bit, a little over half an hour. He's our weekly guest, and he's going to break down the Grey Cup, of course, Jay, which was won by the Toronto Argos, turning a 1-point game in the final 8 minutes into a blowout. And we're going to dive right in here to Fired Up, my friend. For Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need. Available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. All right, my friend. You are fired up.
Well, yeah. The last play of the third quarter. And Zach, if you can pull that up. Toronto was up 17-13 over Winnipeg at that point. Winnipeg blocks a punt. Recover it on Toronto's 26-yard line. However, there is a penalty on the play for loose ball interference. I understand this is a rule. I understand that there was interference on behalf of the Winnipeg player who pushed the Toronto player out of the way of the ball.
Yes.
But to me, this punishment does not fit the crime. So because of the loose ball interference, Toronto then regained possession and was awarded a first down. So for those of you that missed it, if you're on YouTube watching, you can see it here. And they show it closer in the replay that's coming up right there. So he pushes him out of the way. I get that. Yes, interference. Winnipeg clearly recovers the ball. I have no idea why this is not Winnipeg's ball as they recovered it 15 yards back. Why they award Toronto the first down, I do not like this rule at this time and place of the game.
Well, and it was the ref did one of the things that annoys me. He said, by rule, when he announced the penalty, yes, thank you. We can assume if you're the referee announcing the penalty, it's by rule. But yes, if this happens, the team that is interfered with gets a first down. So Toronto, despite having their punt blocked, because even if Toronto would have recovered that, it would have been first down Winnipeg.
Yes.
So it makes more sense to me that Winnipeg should have got the ball, but 15 yards back. I would have no problem with that being a 15-yard penalty, like a major foul, the most you can assess. Well, I guess there's the rare 25-yard penalty, but the most you can assess on a non-pass interference penalty. I would have been fine with that being 15 yards. Now, it is the rule, but it's a weird rule. It doesn't happen a lot, especially off a blocked punt, but that definitely helped Toronto. Well, obviously, it helped Toronto. I mean, Winnipeg would have had the ball inside the 30 or wherever it would have been, even with the penalty.
Now, I understand it's a rule. It's a rule in the rule book of the CFL.
Yes, it is.
I get that. But here's where something's not adding up. Reid, if I'm playing quarterback and you're my receiver,
Yes.
okay, and I'm trying to throw you a pass, and the ball gets deflected up in the air or touched by the defense,
Yes.
a defender can legally take your head off.
There's no longer pass interference.
There's no interference once the ball is tipped. So why, in this instance, once a punt is blocked, the opposing team has touched it. They've blocked it. Why then is there still an allowance for a loose ball interference?
Well, I guess there's a difference between a fumble and a tip pass. If you want me to argue with you for the sake of arguing.
Sure.
Or provide a counterpoint. We're not arguing.
It just doesn't seem...
It seems to me in that situation, if Toronto had recovered... So basically, they're assuming... The assumption is that the player who was fouled would have recovered the loose ball, right? So you're running for the ball, I'm an opponent, and I push you. The flag comes out, and it's like the ref saying, okay, you pushed Jay Milne, and because of that, we're going to assume he would have got the ball without that push. So I guess that's why they give that team the first down. But in that situation, if the Toronto player recovers the ball, it would have been Winnipeg ball at that spot because it was a third down play.
Yeah.
Right? The downs wouldn't have reset. If that was to happen, then teams would let the ball get punts blocked intentionally all the time and then just fall on it or try to.
Right.
Right? So it's just strange to me that the blanket rule is the fouled team gets a first down. Now, did this cost you any money? Is that why you're fired up about it?
No. I just felt like after
that's what
that,
I thought happened.
No, I mean, to be honest, all I ever really root for is a good game. And after that play, the wheels completely fell off. Well, whatever wheels were left on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers because they did not play good. And we'll get into that later with Jed.
Yeah. Impressive performance by the Argos.
And credit where it's due. The Argonauts seem to play with a lot more desire, a lot more effort, and more concerted effort. Winnipeg looked like they were just going through the motions. I mean, how many times can you try and push the ball downfield instead of hitting your intermediate routes?
Well, Lawler got taken out of the game.
Completely.
He had 2 catches, and one was called back by a offside penalty by Dembski. I can't remember if he got a garbage time catch after in the last 90 seconds. But I want to ask Jed about that because my non-technical football knowledge, just someone who likes to watch and observe things, Toronto looked like the faster, more precise team. They just looked quicker. They looked quicker getting tackles. They looked more thorough, just blocking and making catches and just being, I don't know, intense. It's like how we've talked about with the Oilers at times this season, where they just seem like, well, they're not like outright bad, but they're just not as sharp. And I don't think Winnipeg was outright bad. They just weren't as sharp.
I particularly agree with that statement, mostly for the Toronto defense. They were flying around.
They were good. Yeah, they were good.
They were limiting Brady Oliveira was not a factor.
No.
But neither running backs really were. But this game just got away.
Well, Carey has some good runs.
Game changer, though? I wouldn't say so. I mean, Oliveira had that long run, that 28-yard scamper later in the game. But with this penalty in specifically, it just seems like it's going against rules that are already in place when the opposing team, the defense, touches or deflects a pass. I just don't know how that equates here. And yes, I understand it's a rule. Just saying that the penalty definitely outkicked its coverage. Let's just say that.
Couple comments in the nasty chat. Smitty the Welder says it's a stupid play by the Bomber guy. They know the rules. I mean, that also is a good point. And this is what we often talk about. You have to know the game situation. So I can't remember which Bomber got the penalty. If he lets the Toronto guy pick it up and just tackles him, it's Winnipeg ball.
Yep.
If he just stops running and lets the Toronto guy pick it up, the Toronto guy has to go about 40 yards to get a first down.
Yep.
He could have just not. I don't know if panic is the right. He probably got excited. I'm going to get a fumble and I'm going to get a block punt and run it for the end zone, instead of thinking, okay, this Toronto guy is going to beat me to the ball. That's fine. And plus, as we often see in football, the first guy to a loose ball often doesn't recover it cleanly, right? There's usually, what's the old Chris Berman, fumbling, stumbling, bumbling, it's getting knocked around everywhere. So the Bomber guy just could have calmed down and been like, hey, we're going to win this play, right? We're gonna have an advantage. So I think I do think that maybe the rule needs to be looked at, but I will give props to Smitty the welder there because he's basically saying that's the rules.
Yep. And I understand
that's the rules.
I just think that the penalty doesn't suit the crime. And that this should then definitely fall on the shoulders of the special teams coordinator for the Bombers in Mike Miller, who is a stalwart during his years there. But it's another situation where a player does not know the rules of this game. Right, because this is not a rule in the NFL.
Oh, isn't it?
No, it's not.
They don't have loose ball interference
to Canada.
Oh, I didn't know they didn't have loose. I would have assumed that there's loose ball interference.
No, not on a block kick.
Not on a block kick. Okay.
Right. So then I guess you're going to have to point the finger at Mike Miller.
Well,
because that was a huge, huge turning point in the game.
I've seen loose ball interference called before. It's not a common call. I don't know if I've ever seen it off a block punt. If I do, I don't remember. But I guess you would hope that player would think, okay, I'm getting beat by this guy to the ball, but we're still winning this play, even if he recovers it. So that's where I agree with Smitty just don't interfere with you would think you would know loose ball interference is a penalty, even if you're not sure of the consequences. So just don't do it. You're going to hurt your team one way or another.
You should know that.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's the thing. I'm not. I'm just saying it's contradictory to another rule that is in the same game.
Duck Dad, still there was no incentive for the Bomber player to even win the ball. Just let the Argo collect it, touch them, and turn it over on down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. So, hey, but that's much of pro sports. How do you handle
adversity?
And how do you handle having to process things quickly?
In the moment.
And that Bomber player didn't process what was happening. But I understand why you're fired up about it. All right, we're going to get to some other stuff here. Let's start with our mystery athlete of the game, presented by Hudsons, Canada's Pub. You're trying to win a $25 GC to Hudson's, Canada's Pub. Don't forget about their late night happy hour, Fridays and Saturdays after 9 p.m. Food starting at $4, drinks starting at $3.75. Great deal. So I'll just quickly go over how this works. I assume most nasties here are getting familiar with it. I'm going to give a clue every segment here throughout the show. You can text in your guesses to 780-218-9999. 3 guesses per person. Jay keeps track of the guesses. He stops accepting your guesses after your third one, even if you get it right. And you got to think and figure it out. The first clue is Shirley. You know what? We got a shorter show, so it's Shirley as in the woman's name. Okay? First clue is Shirley. 780-218-9999. All right. So, yeah, we got Oilers chat coming up. I want to dive into some of the Evan Bouchard stuff from Saturday, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Let's get to, oh, my goodness. Well, you know what we're going to do for the off-topic topic, Jay? And as always, it's presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. I can't help but laugh there because we want to know how you did gambling on the Grey Cup. And the reason I was chuckling is because most of these stories are probably going to be tragic. So, how did you do gambling on the Grey Cup? First of all, if you saw on Twitter, the EST staff did quite poor. Now, a few of us picked Toronto, not you or me, but everybody had Toronto in a close game. It was until the last 8 minutes, but nobody had anywhere near the correct score for Toronto. Were any of the nasties, and we got a lot of predictions. Was anybody anywhere close? First of all,
no. The closest was Mike, the Michigan fan. The opposite score, though.
Oh, really?
He picked Winnipeg 41, Toronto 19, and it was quite close opposite.
Okay. What did it even end up? 41-24.
Yeah.
In Winnipeg. So it was 41-16.
X-Ray J was 48-28 for Winnipeg.
And Armory McCourt took a blowout for the Bombers. memorable game because it was shaping up to be a exciting finish. Well, it was if you were an Argos fan, because all of a sudden in the last 8 minutes, you won every single play.
Yeah.
From about 8 minutes left to about 2.5 minutes left. It was 17-16, right, with 8 minutes left. And then Toronto just absolutely went to town. So that score line is going to look, that must have been a lopsided game, where for people who watched it, it was a finger chewer. Finger chewer? Is that a right thing? Fingernail biter.
Yeah, nail
Don't
biter.
chew on your actual fingers.
Don't gnaw your finger.
Don't gnaw your finger off. So I did your squares. I ate your delicious Grey Cup squares. No, but you did a Grey Cup squares pool.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 squares. Did not win.
You were close on one. You were there. You needed something to happen. I forget.
Because I had Toronto with a 6.
Yeah.
And Winnipeg with a 7. And for a while there was a parameter where the game could have ended that way, but it quickly went away.
That changed.
Yeah, that changed. I had 2 1s. I had both ones. So 41-21, 41-31.
Good score.
If Winnipeg,
good.
If Winnipeg could have recovered the onside kick, got a touchdown, and then not gone for 2. But that's a lot of ifs.
It is the CFL.
I placed 3 bets on CoolBet. I placed 3 $5 bets.
What'd you win?
And I won on 2 of them. So I'm ahead $1.96.
Hey-o.
So I'm ahead. So I could say I made money betting on the Grey Cup on CoolBet.
That's good.
Hooray for $1.96, better than being minus 15.
So earlier I had bet a future on Winnipeg. This was a couple weeks ago to win it all. So my odds were good. They were plus 175. So yesterday I decided to hedge for a Toronto win, just in case, so that both ways I won. So Toronto was plus 300. The hedge that I made actually paid me more than the Winnipeg winning the Grey Cup bet did, because it was plus 300. So that was good. As you guys all know, I put Sucker to be the first song played by the Jonas Brothers. It was not. It was actually the last song. And then I bet Clear Liquid to be poured on the winning coach's head. And I was surprised. Orange Gatorade.
What were the odds for orange? Do you remember?
I don't know.
It was a longer shot, I think.
Clear was
Wasn't it clear, blue, green?
Yeah, like clear. I'm just surprised that players are actually drinking Gatorade during a game.
Well, Gatorade's still a thing.
It's slowly slipped.
What's replacing it?
Water,
BioSteel, and
just
water?
Electrolyte laden fluid.
Well, doesn't Gatorade have electrolytes?
They do, but it's clear.
What is the color?
Like Gatorade itself, like green, blue, orange, yellow. Yes, it includes electrolytes, but there's some that have a higher content of electrolytes.
Oh, I see. Okay,
that are clear liquids.
Rob from the Grove thinks it was plus 350 for orange. The big uke bet on blue. So just let us know about your Grey Cup bets, especially if it. Honestly, guys, you know how this works. Usually the tales of woe are more interesting. Though we want to hear if you actually had a victorious bet or won a random pool like buying Grey Cup squares or anything like that. But that'll be our off topic today for William Huff.
I'll give one away that it's not.
Okay.
For the mystery player of the game, because we have a shortened show.
Yeah.
It is not Frank Drebin.
That's a good guess. Shirley. Well, and by the way, the Shirley line was from Airplane, not from The Naked Gun. Frank Drebin was Nielsen's character in the Naked Gun. We are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. We're back with the oil understood for GCL Diesel. Here comes Zachary Kubusch with a sports update.
The Oilers will be without Darnell Nurse for 5 to 10 days after he took a hit to the head and exited Saturday night's game. It's the Oilers on the ice tonight as they face the Canadiens, and you can get set for the action on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 4:30, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Around the league, we have the Bruins in Blue Jackets opening up the night before the hockey club battles the Capitals, and San Jose hosts Detroit in the Shark Tank. Down south, Daniel Jones hits the bench this week with Tommy DeVito being named the starter for the Giants. Monday Night Football action has the Texans and Cowboys kicking off, where you can catch the game with Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road. And in the NBA, the Raptors tip off against the Pacers for 8 games in the association. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheeler's RV and Boat Storage. Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at wheelersrvstorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get one free. Go to wheelersrvstorage.com today and get your storage needs taken care of. The Reid Wilkins Show returns just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store, or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
All right, so Darnell Nurse out 5 to 10 days, so probably going to miss 4 games as the Oilers play tonight, tomorrow, Thursday, and Saturday, and then don't play again until next Friday. Pickard in net tonight. Josh Brown up from the minors, and he will play for the Oilers this evening. If you're tuning in on YouTube, have a sense of urgency, one of my least favorite cliches, about hitting that thumbs up, because we got an abbreviated show. We have like a 90-minute show till 4:30. Tom and Hernan will do the Oil Stream pregame show, and then we'll have a half-hour, take you to 6 o'clock show while the Oilers are playing the Canadiens. So get that thumbs up going. Call your grandma to give us a thumbs up. Call that your Uncle Dave, the one who has the stamp collection. And text Marv, the guy you haven't texted since your high school graduation. Let Marv know to give us a thumbs up as well. The off-topic topic for William Huff. How did you do bet wagering on the Grey Cup? Jay's like looking. He's got a folded paper airplane he's got notes on. That's great.
Well, no, Joel, I thought we said Sucker would be first. I thought I bet Sucker first. But if that's the case, then wow. Good bet.
Did you win money on the Jonas Brothers then?
I don't think so. I picked Jonas.
I didn't bet on the songs.
To play Sucker first. Spency 5 Cents comes in and says, I parlayed Paul, Jones, and Blue Bombers to win. That lost. But I also bet in the CFL logo for the coin flip and won that for some reason, but I'm not sure still, considering the coin controversy. Did you see that?
The coin was based on a Air Force unit. I don't know if right, wasn't it?
Well, Big Uke chimed in as well, and he says the only bet I won was the outcome of the coin toss, but both sides won due to the coin changing last second. So,
But they still had a head and a tail. They just said this is the head and this is the tail. But then the ref had him flip it. He flipped it twice, right? Because the ref, the special guest flipper, he had him flip it before he had the Argos
the ref
call
didn't say, okay, you're the home team, so you get to choose heads or tails.
He just told the guy to flip it. Then he's like, oh, wait a minute, I guess I need somebody to call it.
So I think that whole.
So everybody won or everybody lost?
Well,
they
I
wouldn't
don't
make everybody.
I don't
win.
think everybody won, but I certainly think you would get your money back. Like, so nobody lost.
So they negated the bet.
That's how I would.
But
think
there's
it would
only
go.
one official coin flip. The one that didn't count didn't count. It shouldn't count. There's my quote of the day, everybody. The one that didn't count didn't count. It shouldn't count.
Duck Dad says, I hit Arbuckle under passing yards. Nice. Daniels under receiving yards. Nice. And Oliveira over rushing yards. Lost game under 50.5 and Bombers -6 for the first half. So it looks like a mediocre day. Didn't win too much, didn't lose too much.
All right. Not bad.
So Jen says it was supposed to be a CFL logo. So everybody won. I'm going to have to look into this.
Because the coin didn't look like the way that Coolbet thought it was going to look.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's quite the controversy. All right. Oilers, I'll tell you what, they have blown a third period lead in 4 of their last 5 games. 2 of those games they've won in overtime. They lost in regulation to Vegas, and of course they lost in overtime to the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday. As we dive into the oil understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood. All right. I just want to say something here. And hopefully if you're consuming the show on an audio stream or on YouTube where you also have the video, I always hope that you're listening and paying attention, but I really want you to just make sure you're processing what I'm going to say here. Like, pull up a chair, closer to your speaker, maybe get a cup of hot cocoa, stoke the fireplace a little bit and lean forward. Lean forward and really listen to what I'm going to say here. And I'm not really saying this to make you feel better, because it's not going to make you feel better, but I also think that I want to acknowledge the reality of a certain situation. And Evan Bouchard made, a really boneheaded pass to lead to the tying goal, and then clearly his nonchalance on the other on the Leafs' third goal was pretty frustrating. And I'm not excusing that behavior, and I understand totally the frustration and the anger with Oilers fans, because for most of that third period, I thought, you know what, the Oilers are playing pretty well. It's a pretty quiet third period. I mean, sure, the Leafs had a couple semi-dangerous shots, but they didn't have a lot of sustained pressure. The Oilers were still forechecking. They were getting the puck out of their own end pretty well, and I thought, man, they might actually be putting a game to bed quietly here. And then Bouchard hits McDavid on the pants with a pass that was flying out to the neutral zone. And then obviously that other one that came back off the boards. Look, Skinner probably should have rushed out and play it, but that's a tough play for a goalie. But Bouchard has that posture where he's upright and doesn't appear to be skating too hard. But here's my message for the Oil understood. That unfortunately, everybody, that is Evan Bouchard. Expecting anything different from him is not realistic. Now, I'm going to clarify this, because I'm not saying that type of play is acceptable or wanted or appreciated by the coaching staff and his teammates. What I'm saying is that in 2029 and in 2034, if Bouchard's still playing, we are still going to be lamenting these types of plays by Evan Bouchard. That is who he is as a player. That is part of his DNA as a player. That there are going to be times when he makes massively, massively big mistakes that just leave you absolutely confounded. There was a play last year against Arizona. A player was coming down the left wing through the neutral zone, and he nonchalantly swung his stick to poke check the puck, missed him, and then instead of turning around and skating backwards, skated towards the boards and totally took himself out of the play. Now, that's frustrating to see. I'm not saying that you should like it. I am saying you are going to see it again. And you're going to see it again for several years. But I think the hope should be, and I think we saw this as last year progressed, is that you don't see it as often and you don't see it in critical game situations. Okay, if he tries that pass when the Oilers are up or down 5-1, it's frustrating, but it's a different game situation. Especially if you're down, maybe you think, I got to make this long stretch pass to generate some offense because we're not getting anything going here. But in that situation, you have to know better than to try that pass. And I believe, unfortunately, Evan Bouchard is never going to completely know better. I think there might be times he knows better, and hopefully, as players age, they learn and they mature. But unfortunately, I think that's always going to be part of his game. He's not a great defender. He's an elite puck handling and shooting defenseman. We saw that drag move he did with the goalie on the bench. He can do things with the puck that a lot of other players can't do. But I think, unfortunately, these mind-bendingly awful defensive gaffes are never going to go away entirely. But you have to hope they don't happen as often, and you have to hope they don't happen in critical clutch situations. I'm just saying this because I don't believe I believe players can improve and mature, but I still think there are things about players and human beings that never really change. Like when your little brother was 10 and had a really messy room, well, now he's probably 30 and has a really messy house or apartment. That's part of who he is. He doesn't see having a messy room or house as a problem, as something that needs to be urgently cleaned up, like other people might. So that's what I was saying with Bouchard. Unfortunately, there's something in his brain that's not always going to click. Oh, I should do this with the puck because we're trying to prevent a one-goal lead. Now, there's something else to remember here. And I heard some stuff with Tom and Hernan, and I saw comments. Why wasn't he benched? Why didn't Knobloch bench him? That's a perfectly reasonable point to bring up because Knobloch has benched other guys, including Leon Draisaitl, for a couple of shifts through this season. Not a long stretch, but a couple of shifts. But I want you to remember something else. The guy who changes the defense is Paul Coffey. And Paul Coffey, in interviews last year, said that he told the defenseman, hey, I told these guys no one made more mistakes than I did. You make a mistake, get back out there and keep being aggressive. So Paul Coffey, this is what I'm being a little bit of an analyst here, or not a hockey analyst, like a psychoanalyst. Paul Coffey sees himself in Evan Bouchard. And I think to an extent he's thinking, I was always trying to make a play, and damn it, Bush is always trying to make a play. So I'm not going to punish him for making a play. He's going right back out there. Now, again, everybody, I am not telling you to like what I'm saying. But I'm telling you this is a perspective that I think is valid and important to have about this player and about his current coach on defense.
So if you're not going to bench him, or if Coffey's not going to, why haven't they switched up that top pair? Why are they not letting someone else play with Ekholm? They've certainly switched all the forward lines numerous times.
Yeah, probably because I think they think that's the best pairing they have.
Why not throw Kulak up there? See how that goes. I mean, Nurse, although he's injured now and has been a little bit of the beating boy here for Oilers fans, has been playing okay. Certainly much more consistent than Bouchard. Bouchard's been up and Bouchard's been down. I mean, that play against Toronto that you're alluding to, that simply can't happen. The whole side of the boards was wide open. So, I don't know. I just don't know why there's so much flexibility on the forward lines and why there's absolutely no flexibility on the top four of the defensive pairings. Riddle me that.
I guess if I were to answer that trying to think like one of the coaches, which I'm not, it's that Ekholm and Bouchard have been a very, very effective pairing ever since they were put together. So that the default is they're always together. I understand what you're saying. Could you switch it up? Could you have Bush miss a shift? Like Ryan McLeod overskated that puck in Game 7 against Vancouver, didn't get back on the ice. Draisaitl took a dumb penalty, missed a couple of shifts. That's probably fair. I don't think you ever want to take Bush out of the game. I wouldn't have had Bush back out on the ice so quickly. If it's me on Saturday, I wouldn't have had him out right back on the ice, and then he gets scored on again 59 seconds later or whatever it was. But I would have had him out on the ice in the final minute trying to tie it. I think he's still part of your 6-on-5 attack. But that's fair. Some people would have sat him down for the whole game. Or scratched him tonight. Well, I don't think anybody would have scratched him tonight because you're running out of players. But I'm just saying, unfortunately, that's part of who he is as a player. And I think we're going to continue to see massive mistakes by Bouchard. You just hope that they don't happen very often. To me, that's the goal, that they don't happen a lot.
Well, and it's funny because, Dante Fabro got released by the Nashville Predators.
Yes.
Apparently his game fell right off the map when Ekholm left. That was some of his best, most productive hockey.
Ekholm's good.
Yeah, but, I'm just saying, it just seems like those defensive line pairings are set in stone. Now, the other question I have to you, and this is eerily reminiscent of another professional team in Edmonton in the Elks that could not finish out games. I mean, you look, it's plagued them all last season, starting from the home opener against Saskatchewan when they gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, no, we'll probably talk more about this during my top three, because it'll be a specific message that I had.
Okay.
There have been other players besides Bouchard who have not been responsible enough in the last 10 minutes of a game. Look at that tying goal. Who was that? Nashville? Emberson's in the high slot. Nuge doesn't cover the proper lane. Kulak doesn't get back quickly enough. There are other problems late in games than just Evan Bouchard. So somebody's got to handle it here and be a little more responsible about it.
Giant Mike makes a good point. Why take Bouchard away from the guy that can cover for him the best?
Well, yeah, true.
That's terrible to have to say that, though. If you're thinking about that out loud and you're saying, okay, then this team's going to be turning around and offering him $10 million in the offseason, that doesn't equate. Does it?
No. All right, we'll talk more about Bush as we move along. We're going to get to Jed Roberts. I can also tell you portions of this hour presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. Book your holiday party at the CBH today, your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Before we get to Jed, it's the Coob Sports Update.
After taking a heavy blow to the head and exiting Saturday's game, Darnell Nurse is expected to miss 5 to 10 days for the Edmonton Oilers. And on a 6-game slate, the Oilers are in action against the Habs for a first of a back-to-back. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show just an hour before puck drop to get you set for the game with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas live only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Elsewhere, it's the Avalanche and Flyers, the Caps, with puck drop against the Hockey Club and the Bruins facing the Blue Jackets. In the NFL, the Giants will bench Daniel Jones this week in favor of Tommy DeVito when New York meets Tampa Bay. For Monday Night Football action, the Texans kick off against the Cowboys with Lieutenant Eric hanging out at the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for that one. Kickoff goes at 6:15. Also on tap, the NBA has 8 games with the Raptors hitting the court with the Indianapolis Pacers. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep, where you can save big with their Black Friday sale. Get a queen-size Eurotop mattress with patented non-flip pocket coils, gel memory foam, and 5 comfort zones slashed down to half price for only $399. Find great deals like this and more for the rest of the month at Sit and Sleep. Black Friday started today. Sit and Sleep in South Edmonton Common, next to Planet Fitness. Jed Roberts, just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out. The grand opening sale ends soon.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit GalloLLP.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.
Okay, the second clue in our Hudsons Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. Text in your guesses to 780-218-9999. The second clue is Beck. The first clue was Shirley, as in a female's name. And the second clue is Beck. All right, we're giving away a $25 GC to Hudsons Canada's Pub. Quickly, before we get to Jed Roberts, give me a couple texts coming in about the Kubusch discussion, Jay.
Kulak can't. This comes in from Andrew. Kulak can't play 22 to 25 minutes a night. Once he gets up there, he starts to slow down and not play as well. I do think once Nurse comes back, he should have some time with Bush. I don't think it is worse than what's been happening so far. McLean says, before we give Bouchard $10 million a year, can we see if he can play without Ekholm? Good question.
Probably can't, quite frankly.
What's that?
He probably can't, quite frankly.
Coffee, well, then is he worth $10 million? This comes in from Dr. John. Coffee may have said, get back out there because you tried to make a play and failed, but not trying on a back check as a D-man is not failing at trying to make a play with the puck. He has to have some accountability.
That's a good comment.
Bone says, I need a psychiatrist, Reid. Do you have a 4:30 on Tuesday?
Well, I'll be here.
So no, that is a no to the 4:30 on Tuesday.
All right. 780-218-9999. We're going to bring Jed Roberts onto the show as we do every week, and we're also going to crunch the numbers for Gallo LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LLP if you'd like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow. Visit their website, gallollp.ca, and see how Gallo LLP can help your business grow. Jed, it's Reid. How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
Doing very well. Jay Milne, of course, here as well. We'll just start generally, and I think Jay wants to dive into some more specific stuff. I'll just give you my very generic, non-football player observation of the Grey Cup without knowing all the technical and scheming stuff. I thought Toronto looked quicker and just sharper. What did you think?
Well, I think that I agree with Bo Levi Mitchell and what he said at the end of the game there about how Toronto put the ball in the hands of their playmakers. And I think that Winnipeg was a little bit slow to do that. Not for lack of trying. I think Carlisle's pushed the ball downfield a few times, especially early in the game, to try to stress that defense out. And I thought that they were kind of just about getting ready to get into that sort of late game rhythm when Carlisle cut his fingers and had to go for stitches. And I don't even know how he was able to throw the ball after that. I mean, the finger that he had the biggest cut on was the pointing finger, and that's the last finger to leave the ball. And with no sensation, I'm not sure how he was able to even throw the ball. So, I mean, it was 18-17 or something like that, or 17-16 with 8 minutes left, and then you get that big swing where the block punt, and the guy does the pushing the punter into the ball there, and he gets a penalty, and the Argos get the ball back, and so the Bombers miss a big opportunity there, and then Kalalos gets hurt, and then it goes from 17-16 or whatever with 18 minutes left or whatever, 8 minutes left, and then it turns into a rout. So I think the game was a lot closer than the last, the score indicated. I think that it was a very evenly matched game. It was a really fun game to watch. You saw a lot of things going on both sides of the ball. I thought that Winnipeg probably could have done a better job of running the ball, especially after Kalalos got hurt. I think that they left a lot of points on the field. Too many mistakes, too many turnovers. Argos, man, Arbuckle came right out of nowhere and just did more than manage the game. He actually made some plays when they needed it. Like he ran for first down there on a clutch short yardage situation there. He found some guys open, and he did some things that I think that nobody expected him to do. Hats off to the Argos, man. That's why they won.
Yeah, Jed, looking at the numbers here, Zach Collaros may have played one of his worst football games ever as a professional in the CFL. 15 of 30 for 202 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And I agree with you. That Toronto used the intermediate routes a lot better than Winnipeg did. I mean, you look at the numbers. Kenny Lawler had 2 receptions. Nick Dembski, 2 receptions. It felt like Winnipeg was really trying to push the ball down the field. And I mean, even if you look at the injury, the first play he comes back where he's throwing with a glove is a deep ball. Why do you think they did not use or take advantage of the intermediate throws in that game?
I think they were just trying to dictate tempo, and I think a lot of times people get greedy and they don't take what the defense gives you. And I think that, if he throws the ball a little bit better on a couple of those long ones, we're probably having a different conversation. So I don't know, man. Like it's a funny shaped ball, funny shaped bounces, and that's why you play the game, right? Any given Sunday, and that was just a perfect illustration of you just never know. There's always a chance. When Arbuckle was announced as a starter and Kelly was out, I was certain. There's no way that I could see Toronto winning that game, and just a testament to the guys in that room and believing each other and playing that and sticking to the game plan and I'm floored that Arbuckle was able to do what he did in such a limited time. I know he was there in training camp, but for him to come in like he did and basically kind of settle everything down and on the biggest stage, just wow. Like I can't really remember the last time I saw that happen, although I guess you could say, Chad Kelly did it when MBT went down. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like history repeating itself. There's something about Dinwiddie, his ability to make the game plan, tailor it to whatever his quarterback is able to do. And I think that in those both scenarios, the backup quarterback gave him a little bit more than I think anybody expected him to. So there's something in the water there in Toronto, that's for sure.
Jed, I got to ask you, have you, in all your special teams experience, have you ever been a part of a loose ball interference penalty?
No. And I tell you why, because I learned a long time ago that you're not allowed to do that. Like, you can't push a guy when they're going for the ball. Like, everybody gets equal opportunity to the ball. So that's something it's an IQ play. If you're on special teams, it's right up there with not trying to down the ball when you're, covering a punt. It's just something that's just ingrained in your head that you can't shove guys out of the ball when you're going for the loose ball there.
One more for me, and I know Reid's got something to ask, but I just wanted to have you give your thoughts on the halftime show with the Jonas Brothers. I know you're a big fan. I know that's probably one of your top 3 bands of all time. So what'd you think of your guys?
I was in my living room dancing along with everybody else in Canada. Like, I had my shoes off and I was just giving her, I think I was sweating after the last song they did. It was just incredible. I was just I just couldn't sit in my seat. I just had ants in my pants. It was awesome.
Jed, two-parter here. I'll ask both parts together. What do the players on the winning team from the Grey Cup do in the 3 or 4 days after the game? And what do the players on the losing team in the Grey Cup do in the 3 or 4 days after the game?
Well, on the losing side, you just try to get the hell out of town and go home. On the winning side, I think you just try to, string together some days where you kind of know what's going on. I actually messaged Jake Serezna on social media there and just kind of gave him the heads up, like, listen, dude, like, you're about to have the greatest offseason you've ever had in your whole life. Like, talk about getting the keys to the city. And when we're talking about Toronto, like, they'll open doors to those guys and they'll have access to whatever they want for the next little while. So it's kind of hard to keep your head on straight when things like that are going on. But you know what? They worked really hard for us. So I'm really happy that they're able to, especially with Jake, the stuff he had to go through and the way, he was kind of put on the shelf and sent packing because, he was such a good leader here. And I think that the coaching staff that was here didn't want to have anybody louder than the head coach. So it was unfortunate, but really good for Jake to get that ability to go and play in front of some of his family that lives a little bit closer to Toronto. And man, when you win the Grey Cup, the off season is just so fun. Like everywhere you go, people are happy. And that's one thing that separates the Canadian Football League from the league that plays down in the South is the trophies for everybody, and everybody gets to touch it. And, you take it around to the different bars and restaurants and schools and all these different functions. And it's just people light up when they see that thing, and it's accessible and it's for everybody. And it's all about being Canadian and coming out and just having a really good time together. That's why they play those games.
Jed, you're speaking of the Grey Cup, and obviously you've had the opportunity to touch it, carry it, and I got to ask you though, what's the strangest thing you've seen eaten or ingested out of the cup?
Well, I've actually I've had the Grey Cup. I won it once, but yeah. I've had it 4 times, 5 times, four times, I think. And every time I've taken it home, cleaned it meticulously, and then I poured milk and Count Chocula and eaten Count Chocula out of the Grey Cup. That's my favorite thing to do with that thing. And so I don't think I can say on air what I've seen done to that cup.
Off air, next time you drop by, you can tell us.
I'll save that story for in person, but that cup has sure seen its share of debauchery and sin, that's for sure.
All right. Hey, Jed, thanks for doing this. Thanks for breaking down the Grey Cup. Enjoy the Oilers game tonight, and we'll talk to you next week, my friend.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you.
All right. Good stuff there from Jed. Count Chocula, eh? He's eating Count Chocula out of the Grey Cup.
Wouldn't that be something? Just to sit down at your table Sunday morning, have a big bowl of Count Chocula out of the Grey Cup.
That's great.
That would be impressive.
That's amazing. Always good to have Jed on the program. Yeah, I was. I'm getting there. Hang on.
Hey, it's short and show.
When
nobody's sniffing at it. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm
when
saying.
Collaros came out there with that glove, I was like, oh man, how often has he? I don't know how often, or I didn't know how often at the time. I'm like, how often has he thrown with that glove, and how does that finger feel? Well, I mean, there was blood, quite a bit of blood coming out of that thing for a finger.
Well, and as a quarterback, that is the most important finger of your hand. That guides it out of your hand and is the last digit to touch the ball. So, yeah, questions will, I'm sure they're being asked right now. Should have they went back to Collaros or should have they just?
I think you have to.
I think you have to.
I think I would have. If he can go out there and throw and release the ball, I still would have played him.
Yeah.
I don't think that's why they lost, though it didn't help.
Didn't help. And the wheels fell off. That's why. They're still looking for him out in BC Place.
Send your guesses to 780-218-9999, our Hudsons Canada's Pub. Mystery athlete of the game. Maximum of 3 guesses. The third clue is Evason. Evason. So the clues so far are Shirley, as in a woman's name, Beck, Beck, and Evason. All right? And we're going to try to have the winner here before 4:30.
Hammer that thumbs up. We're going to try to get to 100 before we leave for the GCL
what are we at?
Diesel pregame show. We're halfway there. We're not bad.
Not bad for an hour, but yeah, we got to get to as many as we can. Hopefully 100 by the bottom of the hour when we turn it over to the Oil Stream pregame show. Of course, we are coming to you from the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com today and book your private consultation. Oilers and Canadians are at 5:30 today. I got my top 3 for food sausage when we get back.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Darnell Nurse is expected to be out 5 to 10 days after taking a hit to the head from Ryan Reeves on Saturday. And the Oilers are back at it against the Canadians with Tom Gazzola and Hernand Salas live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 4:30 right here on EST. Other games see the Ducks taking on the Stars, Detroit in San Jose to face the Sharks, and the Flyers battling the Avalanche. Football has Tommy DeVito being named the starter for the Giants this week as they send Daniel Jones to the bench. On tap tonight, the Cowboys and Texans duke it out with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for a 6:15 start. Basketball has the Raptors meeting the Pacers for 8 games in the NBA. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
All right, Oilers at 5:30 against the Canadians. Josh Brown expected to make his Oilers debut on the blue line as Darnell Nurse is out. Victor Arvidsson still out as well. So once again, 11 forwards and 7D for the Oilers, who will play in front of goaltender Calvin Pickard tonight. The Big Uke emailing a limerick to Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Lately, the Oilers sure love to give up a lead. After the hit, Nurse's face started to bleed. Tyson fight farce, frozen streams not sparse. In the afternoons, we love listening to Jay and Reid. That is excellent from the Magma Man, the Big U.
Big Slam Nasty sent one in as well, Reid. We've got a back-to-back, a doubleheader, some would say. On Saturday, Nurse went down. Then overtime left us with a frown. We move on to Montreal. They are an island, but we have them all. Here's hoping Hernan doesn't have a meltdown. Brilliant.
That's pretty good. Love the listener participation
So
when
we've
it comes to writing the limericks.
Clue number 1, Shirley.
Yes.
Clue number 2, Beck.
Yes.
And clue number 3, Evison.
Yes.
And Reid, nobody's sniffing at this.
Clue number 4 is Barrie, B-A-R-R-I-E. That should give it away. Clue number 4 is Barrie, B-A-R-R-I-E.
We shall see.
Yeah, that's a giveaway. All right. So, tough loss to the Leafs. I said last week that a loss to the Leafs feels like 10 losses. And I think the reaction from Oil Country Saturday night. So, a lot of things to fire up the fans that night. It was a loss to the Leafs. It was a loss with one player making a couple of obvious bad mistakes. And it was a Saturday night early game. So, a lot of people are watching it. So people were, I felt, more ornery than usual about an Oilers loss. Now, usually after a game, I will post some post-game thoughts on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, and I'll try to put something in the nasty chat as well. Just a brief summary of what I think. It's not every single thought I have about the game. It's a brief summary. So I tweeted I tweeted after they gave the lead up, right? And then I tweeted at the end of the game. And as people probably know, I don't generally engage people on Twitter. I just don't think it's productive. I mean, you're not going to find a consensus or usually even talk to somebody interested in having a respectful discussion about this. So years ago, I thought there's no real sense. I did reply to a couple tweets on Saturday with a little bit of, one with a little bit of sarcasm and one with actual thoughts, expanding on my thoughts. But generally, I just don't think it's productive. I host a talk show so people can get a hold of me. So I don't find getting back and forth with it on Twitter is helpful. Though someone told me that there was some quite unhappiness with some people were quite unhappy with what I tweeted on Saturday. Quite unhappy. So here's what I wrote. During the third period, I said that's 4 blown leads in the last 5 games for the Oilers. Just can't put one to bed quietly. And then after the game, I said Oilers played well most of the game, but again are a disaster with the lead in the final 10 minutes. They avoid safe, smart plays. They don't make it easy on their goalie too often, but Skinner didn't provide a timely save. And then I said Reeves should be suspended for the hit on Nurse, which he was for 5 games. So here are my – and now Jay has picked these. So it's Jay's top 3 responses to Reid's Saturday tweets, presented by Fuge Sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made and packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in-store at 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or mention Edmonton Sports Talk in-store. Free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Fuge Sausage says, you can't beat our meat.
Okay, so I picked out 3 that I thought, were a little spicy.
This is almost like mean tweets that like Kimmel did.
Yeah, and then you can rank them,
sure,
if you like. Okay, we're gonna go with Rock Spider.
Okay,
who replied? Now this is all in caps.
Oh, nice. Okay,
so I'm gonna read it as such.
Please do.
You better say how bad Bouchard has played tonight. Everyone keeps giving him a pass and saying $10 million. He cannot focus on a game. Bad plays, 2 goals against FFS.
Okay.
No punctuation.
Periods, no punctuation.
No.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so then we're going to go to...
you're giving all 3 in a row. Okay.
I'm going to give you all 3 in a row.
First of all, I'll just say quickly for that one, I always love the people who think they should tell me what I should say.
Yes.
My general reply to that is, I'll run my Twitter account, you run yours.
But the caps lock really
caps lock was
really
pretty
drives
good.
this one
pretty
home
good
for me. And then the FFS at the end.
I know what that stands for. I will not say it.
Fake fart sounds. Seabods comes in and says, I don't see any mention of Bouchard here, and that is frankly derelict on your part.
Okay. I replied to that one. I did
Yes.
see that one. I replied, good use of the word derelict. So, I'll touch on that one and other thoughts in a second.
And then the final one was the Luns says, are you friends with number 2? Is that why you won't say his name?
I love those. Okay.
Now, let me say something first, because in your tweet, you did say that there were problems.
I did.
Late game problems.
I did.
And, it's just funny how you get jumped on because they just want the name. Give me the name. Would that make everybody feel better? FFS?
Well, okay, here's the thing. It's very emotional after games. I've lived in or near Edmonton almost all my life. So I know how emotional fans get. And then doing Overtime Open Line for 11 years, I got even more of an in-your-face dose of it. So I understand the emotion is high. And again, after a loss, there are certain teams that it's more triggering. Leafs, Flames, Vancouver to some extent.
Sure.
There are certain that Oilers fans just can't some Oilers fans, they just can't take it. So, and again, when it's an obvious mistake, but an obvious mistake by a good player, it's pretty frustrating and it brings out a lot of anger. So, first of all, Rock Spider's the winner because of the all caps.
Yeah.
and the way he wrote it. I gave Seabods credit for using the word derelict. And by the way, I just see he replied to my reply. So because I wrote back to him, good use of the word derelict. And what did he? Now I can't find it. Anyway, he said something like, thanks. I got it from Mark Spector. I thought it was an appropriate use to word in that. So he's probably calmed down a little bit from Saturday night. And well, actually, the guy who asked me if I was friends with Bouchard, so I wouldn't use his name. That's pretty interesting as well. So I'll give Rock Spider the win, though. That would be because just the all caps and the passion and yada yada yada. So here's my thing in that situation. First of all, anybody who's watching the game knows Bouchard screwed up, right?
Yes.
I was making a bigger picture comment about the 4 blown leads in the last 5 games. And there have been other players who have been guilty of not executing their jobs or recognizing the game situations in those games, right?
Yep.
Nuge takes a penalty against Vegas that didn't need to be taken, right? As I said with the Nashville game that led to the tying goal on Thursday, Emerson doesn't need to walk into the high slot to try a shot. He partially fans on it. Nuge gets back but doesn't go to the right spot. Kulak doesn't get back quickly enough. Emerson's kind of looking over his shoulder, expecting someone to cover for him instead of just busting his ass and getting back himself. So, and then, probably a stoppable shot on that breakaway. Pickard lets in. Skinner did not make a challenging save at all on Saturday. I mean, yes, these are good goal scorers, and yes, there were some point-blank chance, but you need something. I don't care which shot it is. Stop one of them, right? And then maybe you win 3-2. Or stop the one in overtime and give your team a chance to win at the other end. So a lot of players have not done their jobs in the blown lead. So that's what I was, as opposed to heaping on Bouchard. Like, to me, that was such an obvious mistake. It's like, well, what else do you want me to say? Like, okay, everybody knows it was Bouchard. I'm saying there's bigger issue problems with this, right? So, but I get it. People wanted their pound of flesh. They wanted to go online. I think what it is they just love me so much they need me to validate their thoughts. Well, I'm mad at Bouchard,
so
I need Papa Reid to remind me that I'm right and say the same thing I'm saying, because then I'm going to feel better about myself. I will say this, though, as a counter to that. This isn't a complaint. I'm not saying this to whine. It's just a reality, okay? I work in the Edmonton media. I talk about the Oilers a lot, and I have for years. I mean, people associate with me as someone who talks about and covers the Oilers, okay? So what's the other thing? So on Saturday night, I'm getting, Reid, you jerk. You're too chicken crap to criticize Bouchard and stay in by name, you loser, because you're probably friends with him, you evil villain of a media guy. How dare you not say it was his fault?
Don't forget derelict.
And I was derelict. So the other thing, if I go Bouch this, why are you trying to run Bouch out of town? Why is the media trying to run Bouch out of town? Quit running good players out of town. That's why they all leave, Reid. It's because of you. It's because you said he made a mistake, and then he saw it on Twitter, and then he didn't want to play here anymore. And then Pietrangelo won't come here, and then Saros won't come here, and then no draft pick will come here. It's because of you. So I get it.
It's exactly why.
I don't care, but I mean, the bottom line is I can't win. Somebody's going to be mad at whatever I say, no matter what, which doesn't bother me. That's the reality of the job. But it's kind of like, That's why I don't bother engaging with a lot of this stuff, because it's like, okay, great. You're unhappy with something I said. Tomorrow somebody else will be unhappy with it. Like, whatever. Say whatever you want.
But that's not, like, you're not a name guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's not your MO. You're more going to take a broad stroke and try and paint it that way. You're not that guy that's going to name names for the most part. Because it's not a...
Well, it's a complex team sport. Having said that, if they'd had a 9-game winning streak and had played well and then Busch gave that away, I'd be like, well, horrible mistake by Busch. But in the recent stretch here, there have been other players that made mistakes. And really, the Oilers' somewhat sluggish record, I mean, I know they're doing better lately. It's a lot of different things. The offense is not good, except for two guys, Draisaitl and McDavid. Right? The goaltending is not good overall. Neither guy. Maybe Pickard's been a little closer to expectations. You know? And then some of the defense play has been not great. And some of that is on what happened in the summer with management decisions. Right? So that's why I'm usually reluctant to say, okay, everything is because of this one person, because it's a complex team. So, yes, Saturday night, Busch made an incredibly boneheaded cross ice up the middle aerial pass, like just as I said, a mind-bendingly silly play. But there have been other things that have happened in other games. That's my point.
It's a good point. It's a fair point. Need the Kube here.
Where'd Kube go? Kube left. Do we have a winner yet?
No.
We don't have a winner. Well, they sell this actually irritates me. All right, fifth and okay, sorry.
I think this is really stumping people. Can you go over them again?
Sure. All right, here are the clues. Shirley, Beck, Evison, Barry, Swedish. Those are the 5 clues. I gave all of them. Somebody has to get it in the next 12 minutes. Shirley, Beck, Evison, Barry, and Swedish. Do you know who it is, Hernan? Shirley, Beck, Evison, Barry, and Swedish.
Zach, can you turn my board on?
Does anybody have it? The last 2 should be giveaways, those 2 alone. Barry and Swedish. Barrie. The other ones were kind of for fun, to tease you a little bit, to be titillating.
That's a good word.
Has anybody guessed anything?
Dean Evison was guessed by Big U.
Dean Evison is the player I was referring to. He was a coach in this situation. He was a coach of this player.
Got it. Somebody got it.
We finally got it. Who got it?
Pizza Boy.
Pizza Boy. All right, here's how the clues work. Shirley was a character in the show Laverne and Shirley, which was set in Milwaukee, where this player played in the AHL in the 12-13 season. Taylor Beck, who played a couple games for the Oilers a few years ago, was the leading scorer on that team. Dean Evison was the head coach. This player was traded to the Oilers for Tyson Barrie, and he's Swedish. Who is it, Jay? Mattias Ekholm.
So congrats go out to Pizza Boy. There was 2 people that got it. Pizza Boys came in first. Sorry, betting Craig from Calgary. You were just after him. But Zachary will get in touch with Pizza Boy in the nasty chat or the EST inbox and give you all the details.
He's got the $25 GC to Hudson's Canada's Pub. It's time for our flyaway to LA, presented by the 780. We're going to qualify people 4 times each weekday. This show, the Nielsen Show, the Hangout, Hernan and Gager's show, plus once on Saturdays during Hello Hockey. We'll also qualify somebody from the Nasty Club during this period. We're giving the trip away on the 29th during the Nielsen Show. You know the trip. You get to go to LA after Christmas, see NBA, NFL, and NHL. The 780 homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online, 780.com, or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. The key word is sunshine. The key word is sunshine, as in, I love you, sunshine. As in, you bring so much sunshine into my life. Sunshine is the key word.
Sunshine, you are my sunshine.
Yeah, that's
song.
the key word.
That's the key word.
Text that into 780-218-9999, and we will qualify somebody after we hear from the Kub with a sports update.
Darnell Nurse is expected to be out 5 to 10 days after taking a hit to the head from Ryan Reeves on Saturday. And the Oilers are back in action against the Canadiens with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show in just about 10 minutes right here on EST. Other games see the Ducks taking on the Stars, Detroit in San Jose to face the Sharks, and the Flyers battling the Avalanche. Football has Tommy DeVito being named the starter for the Giants as they send Daniel Jones to the bench this week. And on tap tonight, the Cowboys and Texans duke it out with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for that one. Kickoff goes at 6:15. Basketball sees the Raptors meeting the Pacers for 8 games around the NBA. This sports update has been brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly family-owned and operated for 33 years. Paramount Flooring is your full-service flooring and tile supplier. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring provides the flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life that you live. On the other side of the break, we ring up our qualifier for the EST Flyway to LA. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Okay, Oilers and Canadiens on Prime tonight. Portions of this hour are presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankers of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. You can win game ticks and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. What's the word here on the Grey Cup ratings?
3.6 million watchers.
Is that good?
Very good.
Oh, good.
Last year's was 3.67, and it was one of the highest since 2016.
Oh, really?
So, promising. And
right.
overall, the playoff numbers were up this year as well. So, that is all good things happening for the CFL.
It was actually a very entertaining season. There were lots of close games throughout the season. Now, unfortunately, here in Edmonton, most of them weren't won by our team.
They got
but there
7.
were a lot of thrilling games.
They got 7, though.
All right. Is it Kent? Kent is the qualifier for the EST Flyway to LA, presented by the 780. Kent, how's your day going?
That's going well. How about yourself, Reid?
Yeah, we're doing very well. Getting ready to watch the Oilers. Are you going to take in the game tonight?
I will be, yeah.
But did you watch the previous game that was on Prime a couple weeks ago?
I did not. I do not have Prime.
Oh, so you got to go to a Buddy's or an establishment or something, eh?
I am probably going to go to an establishment, yeah.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Tell us, a lot of people say Disneyland. Any experience for you going to L.A. before in your life?
Never been to L.A., no.
Okay, it's nice. There's an ocean there.
Yeah, I've heard.
So have you ever been to NBA or NFL anywhere?
No, sir.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, you're going to have a chance here.
Kent, the off-topic topic today was, did you win or lose any money on Grey Cup bets yesterday?
Neither.
So that's a win. In most,
not a gambler.
in most gamblers' books, that's a win.
That's smart. Okay, Kent, thank you very much for listening to Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We give the trip away November 29th during the Nielsen Show, so make sure you tune in then. Really appreciate it, man.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so that is Kent, our latest qualifier for the EST Flyaway to LA. So again, the games are Clippers against the Warriors, Rams against the Cardinals, and then Edmonton is down there playing Anaheim and LA, so you get to go to one of those two games, right? So that's true. That's pretty cool. That'd be a cool trip. Too bad we can't enter.
I know. It's kind of like thinking that would be that's a trip of a lifetime.
That is a great trip.
That is a
right
trip of a
after
lifetime.
Christmas. Even if it's mild here, the weather should be nicer in LA.
Well, and you're wearing one of 780's finest.
I got a 7. If you're on YouTube, this is a 780 shirt right now. I'm not sure who this purple guy is. Maybe they thought he looked like me.
If you haven't been to one of the 780 shops yet, check them out. It is very unique. It's actually very comfortable clothing, actually.
Oh, this shirt's super comfortable.
Yeah, I love the materials.
As you know, I'm function before fashion.
Aren't we all?
I like my loose-fitting, soft clothing.
I like to be comfy.
Sensuous against my skin.
I thought we were going to do...
what did I miss?
I thought we were going to rank... Oh, no, that's when we come back. We're going to buy or sell.
We're buying and selling at 5:30. We have more programming for the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to get out of the studio because Tom Gazzola and Hernan Sal... You should see how Tom looks.
He's ticked.
My God. Like, the level of handsomosity is off the charts.
I had a limerick come in that I got to get to, Zach.
Don't shake your head.
This one comes in from
shake it as much as you want.
Dazzler
from the X-Men.
At the Grey Cup, the Bombers did lose, while the Argos celebrated good news. The Jonas Brothers sang, but oh, what a clang! A streaker stole everyone's views.
Yeah, there was nudity.
There was.
CSN didn't show it. They kind of briefly referred to it.
Apparently Dusty called it on the radio broadcast.
You can't show it. Well, that's different to say it.
That's like Kevin Harlan's greatest clips is the bunnies that run on the field.
Right. Well, they can't help it, though. You should not go on the field because he could get... It could be dangerous. You should not go onto the field or throw your
I wonder if there was
a
prop for that.
That we should have had that for our props. Will there be a streaker?
Well, I did, but that's the one I said was too similar to yours because yours was an animal. But I wanted to say
you should have.
But I think that's too regular.
All right. So we're back at 5:30 to finish off the Reid Wilkins Show between 4:30 and 5:30. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, Oil Stream pregame show setting up the Oilers and the Canadiens. We'll talk to you soon.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 1,000 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.